Handsome, isn't it? But the digital Prioris rack mount has a lot more to offer than attractive colors and a clean design. You can control your equipment with greater efficiency because it's all organized in one place, with only one monitor and keyboard needed for multiple servers. Its space-saving dimensions take up little floor space, while still allowing for a greater variety of configuration possibilities. Because it's enclosed, it protects your equipment from the environment, and its locking mechanism provides an extra measure of security, even in a locked computer room. It's a well-engineered unit designed to provide a solid but flexible base of operations for the valuable equipment that's the backbone of your enterprise. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of ordering, configuring, and installing the digital Prioris rack mount, let's start with a brief overview of its features, components, and accessories. The rack is quite heavy, weighing over 500 pounds, which makes it really sturdy. Since it's 24 inches across and 29 inches deep, not only can it easily accommodate the 19-inch industry standard, it can also fit wider devices. However, it will still fit into a standard 24-inch floor tile space. The rack is 42 U in height, a U being a unit of measurement equal to 1.75 inches. That means it has room for equipment totaling 73.5 inches from top to bottom. The rack ships with front and rear doors equipped with push-button locks and the corresponding keys. The two side panels are completely removable for ease of installation. Side panel locks are optional. It comes with 4 very heavy-duty retractable shelves, already installed, each with a sliding rail mechanism and a cable management arm. The shelves are installed in this factory configuration and are designed to support up to 150 pounds. The 4 shelves can be adjusted or removed, and new shelves can be added to accommodate your specific configuration. In addition, we provide 8 19-inch angle brackets in 4U and 12U sizes to allow for mounting of conventional 19-inch devices. These angle brackets are mounted on either side of the doorway and convert the opening to the 19-inch standard. These mounting angles not only narrow the width, they also provide the mounting points. The digital servers sit on special server trays on these shelves, so you can just pull out the shelf and remove the cover. This enables very easy access to the internals of the server, so you can add memory, change cards, or adjust cables. All of the digital Prioris servers, except the Prioris MX, are positioned to lay horizontally on the server's right-hand side. A split shelf has been specially designed for the Prioris MX server. This shelf holds 2 MX servers side by side. Each side retracts independently and is equipped with its own cable management arm. These cable management arms provide a way to manage the cables and protect them from damage as you move the shelves in and out. We've included a number of important safety features with the digital Prioris rack mount. One is the front retractable stabilizer, located at the bottom of the rack. This balances the weight when an upper shelf is pulled out. For safe operation, only pull out one shelf at a time. Another safeguard we provide is an earthing or grounding kit. This has the cabling and grounding strips critical to properly wiring your system. And there's a ready-made fan assembly located in the top of the unit to prevent overheating and ensure proper ventilation. The 6 fans in the fan tray can be replaced independently if repairs or maintenance are needed. Several items to help you during the installation process are also shipped with the rack. There is an imperial measuring strip attached to the side rail, which is marked off in U's to assist you in placing and adjusting shelves. Unlike other models you may have seen with holes for mounting, the digital Prioris rack mount shelves are infinitely adjustable. They can be installed anywhere up and down the frame by simply moving the U-nuts. The ability to configure devices close together and exactly where you need them means there's no wasted space, and that the unit is much more customizable. In addition, not having to worry about gaps means you'll have a more visually pleasing rack. Cable rings and ties mount alongside the rail of the rack and are designed to hold cabling off to the side. There are 20 fixing posts which screw through slots and allow you to brace smaller units like keyboards or console switches in position on the shelves. That covers all the items that are included with the rack when it's shipped. There are also a variety of optional accessories you can order. The first being your choice of either a 4-port or 8-port console switch. This device allows you to control all your servers with one keyboard and monitor. The second is a remote access system. This system provides a duplicate console switch access point, up to 150 feet from the rack mount, perhaps at your desk. Console cabling comes in lengths of 10 and 20 feet. The 10-foot length is designed for connecting equipment in one rack. But if you are connecting multiple racks side by side with 1 or 2 consoles, you'll need the 20-foot length. In addition, there is an extension cable which allows the keyboard, monitor, and mouse to be at a distance of up to 25 feet from the console switch. And daisy chain kits are available which expand 8-channel console switches by stacking them. I'll be talking more about expanding later in the program. We offer an IEC version of the power strip which can be used all over the world. You can also order country-specific power strips. The virtual keyboard mouse allows you to disconnect the server from the console without having the server go down, which is important in case the console or cable is damaged. There's even a mouse pad shelf that conveniently tucks away under the keyboard. Other optional installation hardware includes rack mount kits designed for servers, storage cabinets, and consoles respectively, and chassis support rails to offer additional support to rack mount devices. If the rack you're planning isn't fully populated, you can order blanking panels to fill in the empty spaces. They come in a kit of 1, 2, 4, and 8U sizes, with corresponding 19-inch mounting angles that are cut to size. On the other hand, if you need more than one rack mount, we can provide a baying kit with hardware to connect the racks. Those are the most common accessory options. But don't forget, you can also order additional shelves and 19-inch mounting angles in 2, 4, 8, and 12U sizes to customize your configuration. We'll be seeing how all the components that come with the digital Prioris rack mount work together with the optional accessories when we cover the installation procedure. But first, there's a critical step that we need to review. In order to make the digital Prioris rack mount work for you, you need to carefully plan your rack configuration. First of all, that means identifying the equipment needs of your organization. Remember, this is a 42U rack, so every device needs to be measured in U's and figured into the system. Will one rack be enough? Or will you need more than one to support your system? How many servers are you using and what size will they be? Have you thought about console or keyboard placement options? And how will they all fit into the space available? Digital provides you with the tools you need to make configuring your Prioris rack mount as easy as possible. Digital Server Maker software is an easy-to-use program that makes what might seem like an overwhelming process a snap. Included with the software release notes is a planning and tip guide which will walk you through the specific questions you'll need to answer. After answering the step-by-step series of questions, Server Maker does all the figuring and U-mapping for you. And then it automatically determines all the parts and accessories you'll need and prints out a parts list for ordering. Authorized digital resellers use Server Maker. If you're not one of them, please consult an authorized reseller for assistance in planning your configuration. Okay, with Server Maker's help, you've planned your rack configuration down to the last U. Now we're ready to look at what you need to do when you receive the digital Prioris rack mount. It's important to always be aware that the digital Prioris rack mount is extremely large and heavy, weighing over 500 pounds. So you'll need to be very careful when unpacking and moving it. When you receive the rack, it will be on a pallet. It will be wrapped in corrugated cardboard over an internal plastic sleeve with additional foam protection on the top corner. What you'll need to do is remove the top cap, then the corrugated protection, and then the plastic sleeve. Refer to the unpacking instructions on the outside of the box for the correct procedure to follow. The rack is equipped with rollers that allow it to move easily. But in order to use the wheels, the leveling feet must be raised by turning them to the right with a wrench. Pallet ramps are supplied to help you take the rack off the pallet. Once the wheels are in place, you can just roll it off the ramp. Next, make sure that the site you've chosen for the rack has been prepared. You want to establish a space with at least 30 inches of clearance in the rear of the rack and approximately 60 inches in the front to allow for the opening of the door. Proper wiring is another critical site requirement. We recommend that you consult with an electrician to make sure that all electrical requirements are considered. Once these requirements have been fulfilled, we're ready to move it to the site. And don't forget that the rack was not designed to be moved with the servers installed. It should only be moved when empty. If it's moved with equipment in it, it could damage the doors or devices. Once the rack is in place, lower the leveling feet again using the wrench. Make sure the rack is level and that its full weight is on the leveling feet and not the rollers. Now you can customize the rack according to the configurations you mapped out. While it comes with shelves installed in this factory configuration, you may need to adjust the shelves to fit your own specifications. It would be helpful at this point if you prepared a sketch to use as your guide. Before moving any shelf, check to see if it's already in a place that fits your particular mounting configuration. You'll need the following tools to adjust the shelves: 2 medium screwdrivers, 1 Phillips head, and 1 flat blade, an adjustable wrench, a hammer, and a leveling tool. After opening the front and rear doors, you'll want to remove the side panels for easier access. Turn the 3 screws on the left side of the side panel 90 degrees clockwise, and the 3 screws on the right side 90 degrees counterclockwise. Tap lightly on the inside of the panel until it falls away from the frame. To adjust the placement of a shelf, you'll first need to remove the installed shelf. Separate the cable management arm from the shelf by removing the screws that attach to the shelf. Then remove the 4 screws holding the shelf to the sliding rail and take out the shelf by lifting it up. You might have to tap slightly to force it up. The sliding rail can now be removed. Lift up the front part so that the latch disengages from the shelf support bracket. Then push the rail toward the back of the rack to disengage the rear latch. Remove the screws that attach the shelf support bracket to the universal nuts or U-nuts and remove the shelf support bracket. Now you can loosen the U-nuts and slide them to the new position following your guide. Attach the shelf support brackets to the rack using the U-nuts. You'll need a leveling device here to make sure that the bracket is at the same height at the rear as in the front. Add the sliding rails by engaging the latch at the rear of the slide with the 6th hole from the rear of the shelf support brackets. The hook on the front of the sliding rail will drop down into the hole at the front of the slide. Extend the sliding rails all the way out and drop the shelf onto them. Attach the shelf using the 4 screws. Then attach the cable management arm to the back of the shelf and to the rack itself. By repeating these steps, we can adjust all the shelves we need to the desired position. The mounting trays, which support the digital Prioris servers on the shelf, need to be attached next. We're now ready to mount our servers and other components onto the rack. Make sure the rack stabilizer on the bottom of the rack is extended fully. You may need to adjust the leveling feet as well. Again, it's important to plan ahead so that the heaviest components are installed from the bottom up. Since the digital servers rest on the shelf, special server trays, also called server mounting kits, have been developed. There is a server tray specifically designed for each digital Prioris server. The Prioris MX is the only exception. There, the mounting kit comes with a split shelf. We'll be talking about that installation process in just a minute. Before you mount the tray, you'll need to remove the stabilizer brackets. You'll also need to remove the bracket at the back of the shelf. Attach the required server tray to the appropriate shelves in the rack. Now you're ready to carefully lift and place the server in the tray mounted on the shelf. By laying it horizontally on its right side, it will be in the proper position. Don't forget to always use 2 people when lifting and placing the Prioris HX and ZX servers. Due to the size of the Prioris MX servers, a split sliding shelf has been specially designed to mount the servers vertically. 2 Prioris MX mounting kits are included with this shelf. To install the shelf in the rack, begin by installing 2 shelf support brackets. Attach the shelf to the shelf support bracket through the oval slots on the sides of the shelf with the provided hardware. Then attach the cable management arms. Now that the split sliding shelf is installed, we are ready to mount the Prioris MX servers. Remove the Prioris MX mounting brackets if they are attached to the sliding shelf. Next, detach the 4 stabilizing feet from the bottom of the Prioris MX server. Now attach the mounting brackets to the front and rear of the Prioris MX base. Lift the server and position it over the mounting holes on the sliding shelf. Drop the threaded posts into the mounting holes and fasten. By attaching the 4U and 12U angle brackets that come with the rack, you can also easily mount 19-inch rack-mountable devices. Again, you can attach the universal nuts to the side rails and then screw the angle brackets into the U-nuts at the desired level. These devices may require the extra support of the chassis support rail, an optional accessory that you can order. An example of this kind of installation is the proper way to install the digital BA356 storage cabinet. First, attach 19-inch mounting angles at each of the 4 corners. Then attach the chassis support rail to the 19-inch mounting angles. Chassis support rails use self-threading sheet metal screws to attach to the 19-inch mounting angles on the front and rear of the rack frame. Note that the self-threading screws require substantial force while turning. Mount the supplied bracket and the threaded bar to the mounting angle with the screw supplied. Mount the clamp to the rear of the unit using the supplied screw. Slide the digital BA356 storage cabinet into the bracket and mount the clamp to the front of the unit. One of the advantages of putting the angle bracket on all 4 corners is that you can mount opposing equipment. You could mount a digital BA356 storage cabinet here and put another digital BA356 cabinet right behind it, facing the rear to help optimize your space. The Digital Storage Works RAID 310 cabinet requires a specifically designed tray for mounting, which is secured to a universal shelf. First, remove the stabilizer bracket from the shelf, along with the small rear clip. Next, position the tray on the shelf so that the posts fit through the slots. Then lift the tray slightly and insert the spacers onto each post to assure the proper elevation of the tray. Lower the tray and secure the nuts to the posts beneath the shelf. Now you are ready to place the RAID 310 onto the tray. In the digital Prioris rack mount, there are several options for installing the console switch. The first is to rack mount the device to the mounting angles. This involves using a special kit. Take the desktop console switch and put it in the rack mountable tray. This tray requires 2U of mounting space on the angle brackets. You may wish to order the special 2U mounting angles that are cut to size. Next, attach the console rack mount kit to the mounting angles. The second method of installing the console switch is to place it outside the rack on a desktop with the monitor, keyboard, and mouse. Be sure that you order the 20-foot console cables to ensure adequate cable distance. The third way of installing the console switch is to mount it on its own. or combine it with the keyboard and mouse on a single shelf, braced with the enclosed fixing posts. The mouse pad is mounted through a slot on the bottom of a universal shelf. This small shelf swivels out for use. The digital Prioris rack mount offers a variety of console switch options. You can order a 4- and 8-port console switch as well as a remote access kit. All console switches have user control buttons to select and control rack-mounted servers. The scan feature lets you keep an eye on the servers without manually switching. A convenient hotkey feature lets you control the switch and your servers without taking your hands off the keyboard. A virtual keyboard mouse connected to each server prevents lost productivity due to downtime. It allows you to hot swap console switch cables while keeping the servers fully operational. The 8-port console has 4 sets of server cable ports. Each console switch cable kit connects 2 servers to one of these sets. Each cable kit end connects to a console switch port set. Then the cable kit splits with connectors to plug into the keyboard, monitor, and mouse ports on the 2 servers. Not only are the cables double shielded for superb video, they also combine the keyboard and monitor cables through the same tube to simplify cable management. The set of ports to the far left are designed to daisy chain console switches together. Even though this is an 8-port model, you can control 16, 24, or 32 servers from one console. You can do this with a daisy chain cable kit that you can order. You should note that the 4-port console switch doesn't have the same daisy chain capabilities as the 8-port. If you were daisy chaining 8 ports, you could put a 4-port console at the end of the daisy chain, but not in the middle. Your central keyboard, monitor, and mouse plug right in, allowing you to control all your rack-mounted servers from one console. We hope that this video demonstration has helped you better understand how to order, configure, and install the digital Prioris rack mount. For additional information, please consult the release notes and installation guide. And of course, for help at any time, call your digital sales representative or authorized digital reseller.